please state your name?
Dennis Cook.
And today we're going to be talking about the penal system. So what do you think happens behind the penal system?
As far as behind the penal system, hopefully that all justice is being done for all, but in most situations, as you know, there are situations where the system is somewhat corrupt at times, or things are being done that aren't brought to light. So we aren't really sure exactly what all happens behind the penal system, only what we are told.
So when you walk around the prison, what kind of mistreatments do you see?
I'm not sure about mistreatment, but I believe that they watch the inmates as they are out in the yard or in prison or doing their daily work to make sure that they're doing things right. As far as mistreatment, there may be some overbearing officers or people who like to pick certain prisoners out or people out and make them examples if possible.
All right, so what do they do to prevent rape?
Segregation. I believe what they try to do is keep certain people they know that may have been raped or people who have committed rape outside of the system, and once they come into the prison system, they try to keep them away from others, and if they can't, once a rape happens, they do separate them and segregate them.
Do you see favoritism around the people incarcerated?
I'm not sure if it's favoritism, but I believe there are people that might get special treatments because of some of the things that they do. They may be working with the guards or helping the guards, or they may be on special assignments and things because of good behavior, but those who are in there for bad behavior, obviously they're not going to get the same treatment that those who are on good behavior would get usually.
Alright, do you feel like the penal system falsely convicts minorities?
Falsely, I think there's statistics that show that minorities are primarily populating the penal system right now, the prison system, the jail system, from youth to adult. And so, is it on purpose? Some will argue yes. And you do have statistics to show that how it's grown over the last 20 years, that more people of color are in jail.
Do you feel like this is a way of population control?
In some regards, and if you look at the statistics, yes, it really could seem that way. It could seem that they're trying to control the environment, especially in the inner city and places of that nature, where you may commit a crime for selling marijuana and you get 5 years, but you live in another part of the town where it's not as it's primarily people who aren't of color, and they may get no time at all. So they're trying to control their environment, it seems like, in some situations.
How does it make you feel when a minority and a non-minority do the same crime, but the minority gets a longer sentence?
It makes me feel that there is an injustice, and that the system has to take a deeper look at itself and the crimes that they're being committed, and the punishment. The punishment isn't always fair for those who commit the same crime, so it's very disappointing.
All right, and have you ever expected racial profiling in the system?
Ever experienced or expected it?
Have you ever experienced it?
Yes. Obviously, there are times when people of color, especially men of color, are profiled at certain times. It just depends on the situation. But me personally, I have experienced racial profiling.
Do minorities have the same privileges as everyone else?
In jail?
Yeah.
They should. By law, they should have the same privileges. If it happens and they don't have it, that's because of the system being, as we spoke earlier, maybe there's some corruption or some things that aren't fair for all. But on a whole, they should have the same rights as everyone else inside the prison system.
Does the system show sympathy towards minorities?
I'm not sure if it shows sympathy for minorities. It doesn't seem like it due to the numbers of those that are in prison and in jail.